Good afternoon, guys. It's my pleasure to be here to host this afternoon show, The Law and You, which is truly Attorney at Law Shellon Washington, licensed in the state of New York, limited practice in New Jersey, and I'm also licensed in Guyana and the Twin Island of Trinidad and Tobago. It is my pleasure to be here. I haven't been here for a while, so I know some of you were looking for me. So today I'm going to bring you a edition of Divorcing with Children. We're going to talk about divorcing with children today because I know some of you are going through it in this 2026. Some people are going through divorces. Different legal issues are affecting people in this time. So I want to help those of you who are planning to or are already in divorce proceedings or you're contemplating divorcing. I want to help you to be able to navigate the process with not much problems at all. So if you're looking at this show, I encourage you to click the like button and share the live so that other people who actually need the content will be able to get the information that they might be desperately searching for. So today we're going to talk about divorcing with children. And guys, as always, today's edition is brought to you by the Washington Law Firm. It's located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. So if you're trying to divorce your spouse, or you're thinking about it, you're contemplating it, just give the office a call. The number is right there on the screen, 718-877-3100. So let's get into it this afternoon, guys. If you are married to somebody, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, and you have children with that person, and you're thinking about divorcing, but oftentimes children complicates the entire situation because obviously a parent don't want to be away from their child. If you seriously love your child, you will want to be there so that you can continue to nurture and to bond with that child in a loving home. But unfortunately, if you're in the process of divorcing your spouse or you would like to divorce your spouse, things could become complicated because now the child will not be able to remain in a home with the mother and the father, but they will be split. It will be a split situation where the mother lives somewhere else and the father lives somewhere else. So I want to explain to you how you can navigate the whole process with having the child with you 50% of the time, and the child could be with the mother 50% of the child. So you could have like a 50-50 custody arrangement. That's if you're in a position to do that, because oftentimes people cannot afford to have their children, especially the fathers, or in some instances, it's the mother where she has a busy career. She might be a nurse, or she might be a doctor, or somebody who is very busy and mostly relied on the father to take care of the child, or it might be vice versa. You might be a busy parent, a busy father, and you cannot be there to take care of the child as much as you would like. So you don't really want to be there or you can't be there all the time and make the provisions that you would like to make for that child. So in either case, if you're not available, you can work out an arrangement where you can go through the divorce and you will be able to have the time with your child or children. So I don't want people to believe that, okay, I don't want to go file the divorce because I'm running the risk of not being able to be there for my child, not being able to be a parent to my child. That's not true. The law has made provisions for you to spend as much time as you wish, as much time as you desire with your child. If you can't be there, there's always child care options. You could have somebody else, pay somebody to help you to babysit that child while you're at work or while you're unable to be there. So I want to explain the different options that you might have in order to take care of that child or children. If you would like to engage in a divorce, you would like to obviously move and be separated from your spouse. You guys are going to eventually live in separate places. So you might be living together now, but once the divorce is finalized, both parties are going to have to determine where they're going to live after that. In some instances, it might be one spouse would be able to keep the home and remain with the children, which often happens. The mother often have to remain in the home with the children, or sometimes it could be the father. Sometimes a father would like to remain in a home and take care of his children. And in that case, you might be thinking, okay, how am I going to be able to do this? I want to keep the children. I want to be an active parent in my child's life. How do I do that and still get a divorce? There are options. First, there is joint custody. You could do joint legal and joint residential custody for your child, or you can do one parent take custody, full custody. You take both joint legal custody, and one parent can have residential custody of the child with liberal visitation to the other parent. So that if you're the parent that is too busy to take care of the child, you could say, okay, the parent who's less busy can have the children, and I will have visitation whenever I'm off from work or whenever it's my weekend to be home. I can take the children on the weekend, or I can take the children in the week. I'm off on Tuesday, Thursdays, or whatever days you're off on. You can volunteer to take those children on those days. And guys, like I always say, it's always best to work out visitations among yourself with your spouse rather than come to the court and have the court make that decision for you. If you go to the court to make the decision for you, the first thing is going to happen, the court is going to appoint an attorney to the children. If the children are not represented, and depending on the age of the children, the court is more likely to appoint an attorney for those children. And that attorney is going to talk to your children and help your children to make a determination as to which parent they would like to be with, or if they would like to be with both parents. In some instances, parents poison the mind of their children, especially the one who has the children the most. Will tend to tell the children like, hey, your other parent is bad, they're no good. But at some point, children could observe and make their own determination as to whether or not their parent is a good person. So it's obviously not a good thing for a parent to actually poison the mind of a child against another parent. The child is going to eventually grow and realize that, hey, this parent is really a bad person, I should stay away from them. Or this parent is really a good person, I want to develop my own relationship with this parent. I've seen countless situations where parents poison the minds of children, and eventually the truth comes out. And when the truth comes out, no one can stop it. So if a parent is bad, just leave it to the child to make their own decision. They'll see for themselves as they grow and they get older. They recognize which parent is the better parent. You don't even have to tell them. They'll see for themselves. They'll make their own independent choices, right? Apart from you doing the joint custody with the liberal visitations, which means if you're off on whatever day in the week, you can take the children, or if you're off on the weekend, you can ask the court to give you, or you can work out an agreement with your spouse that you're going to take the children every weekend. And trust me, the arrangement where the children custody is shared is better for both parties, because once you're divorced, you're both going to want to have a social life. Even if you're not dating somebody, you're going to want to have a social life where you're going to go places. You're going to be able to live your life again. The parent who's saddled with the sole responsibility of taking care of the children, they're not going to have much of a life, because they're stuck in the house 24/7 taking care of the children. So you want to put some of the responsibility on the other parent. You want the other parent to take on their responsibility and help to take care of the children. And one of the things you need to avoid is being concerned with who the other parent is dating. Because if you concern yourself, a lot of times people become bitter, they become angry because the other parent is dating somebody else and they don't want the person around their children. But trust me, it's way better for you as a parent to work out an arrangement where your child is going to be spending maybe weekends or maybe 3-4 days in the week, whatever it is, with the other parent, and you have some time for yourself to relax and to reflect and to renew yourself. Maybe go do some yoga classes, go to the gym, do something to make your life a little bit more easier for yourself. Do not tie yourself down to saying you're going to take on that responsibility all the time because you hate the other parent, because the other parent cheated, because the other parent has a girlfriend or a boyfriend that you don't like. Don't concern yourself with these things. Think about what is best for your child. Is it best for your child to have both parents, or is the parent so bad that you think it's best for you to be the sole guardian, the sole parent, to take care of that responsibility? And I want to say one thing. A lot of times it turns out that there might be just one parent who might be good for that child. And even though you sign an agreement, sometimes the other parent does not comply with the agreement. Sometimes the parent abandoned their responsibility of the child, and you're the one who left with the child anyway to take care of the responsibilities related to the child. So I want you to bear that in mind when you're doing joint custody, liberal visitation to the other parent. The other option is you just do joint legal, joint physical. So you have the child over at your house 50% of the time. The other parent will have the child over at their home 50% of the times. But you got to keep in mind also that if you do joint legal and physical custody, there's likely not to be any child support. You wouldn't pay any child support, and the other parent probably will not be paying child support because you're both equally responsible for the child, except if there's such a great disparity in the income that one parent is earning way more than the other. Then in that case, the one who's earning way more than the other, the money spouse, might end up paying child support, but it's not going to be that much if it's 50% custody. The child live with you 50% and the child live with the father 50%, or whoever's the mother or father, I don't know. But if it's 50-50, unless there's a great disparity in the income, then as I said, just you might not get child support, or you might just get very little in child support. And that's okay. Guys, remember, every edition of The Law and You is brought to you by my firm, Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. The phone number to call is on the screen, 718-877-3100. Remember to click the like button and share the live so that those who in need of this information the most, they'll be able to get the information, because I know there's a lot of times people are searching for attorneys. They're looking for somebody who's going to be able to handle their case, and they're more comfortable looking for somebody who they can relate to, somebody who's relatable to their culture or familiar with their environment. And, if you share the link, share the live, so that other people who might be looking at this very moment for a firm like ours, they'll be able to find this information, guys. If you got any questions, if you have legal questions, guys, remember, you can send your questions to me and I will be able to answer them on Facebook. You can come on the live, you can write your questions and I'll provide you answers. If you're a private person, you don't like to put your information out there, you can always call the office for a free consultation. We do have a free 15 minutes consultation that we give. And after that consultation, that 15 minutes expires, then you pay for consultation. So if you're in need of legal advice, whatever it is that you're going through, and it relates to any of the areas of law that our firm practices, you can give us a call. Though, as I said before, the number is right there on the screen. And if you're seeking to divorce, I just want to say one thing, because I know for some people coming from an environment that I came from, like Guyanese, it's the topic of divorce is not as prevalent as it is when you live in a country like the United States. People divorce at will. There's a no-fault divorce here. You don't have to have a reason to divorce. You could just say irreconcilable differences, like you and the person cannot get along anymore and you would like to divorce them. And it's that easy if you live in the state of New York. There is no, oh, he cheated, or oh, she cheated. There's none of that. No one cares about that anymore. It's just as simple as filing the divorce petition, going through the process and getting divorced from your spouse. And if your spouse is hiding or trying to avoid service, we have the perfect answer, a solution to that. Also, if you can't find your spouse, you've searched the ends of the world and you don't know where your spouse has vanished, we can assist you with that also, with being able to obtain your divorce, even if you are unable to locate your spouse. So guys, as I said, the last time I was up here, I said we're going to be cutting the show down to 15 minutes per session rather than the full 30 minutes. So I hope that today's show was helpful to somebody who is looking to divorce and have children, and they're wondering how are they going to be able to deal with the issue of custody. How are they going to be able to see their children? How are they going to be able to spend time with their children? Just know that there are options available for you, so that if you would like to co-parent and keep your children 50% of the time, that is an option, provided that you will be able to take care of that child. The courts always look at the best interest of the child principle in order to determine which parent gets to keep the child. Remember, guys, this is The Law and You with yours truly, attorney at law Shellon Washington. If you're in need of legal advice, give us a call, 718-877-3100. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. And I hope I'll be back again next week to talk to you about another topic relating to the law. Have a great and safe rest of your weekend, and I will see you soon. Thank you, guys.